I'm live for you know what, the annual. Well, you guys know why I'm live, so figure. Hey, Dino Man. Anybody that comes in that wants to put a like on the stream can do so if they please. I don't mind at all. I'm going to turn my brightness on my phone up just a little bit so you guys can see me a little bit more. You guys know why I'm live, so I figured let's not. Yeah, you know why I'm here. You know, because if you click on the live stream, you will see the title, Wrestling Week in Review, like that's number 14. I don't know why I'm calling it that, but I feel like that's about as, I guess it just makes me feel like I'm an actual, like some of these guys that I know that do stuff exactly like this, like Sean Ross Sapp, Jim Cornette, people like that do these type of wrestling, I guess, podcasts and stuff. But before I get into that, how is everybody doing? Some of you guys, I know some of you guys are probably. That's good, Dino Man. That's great. That's great. Okay, I see. Got 3 people watching currently, 2 likes, which means someone else must be in the live, must have just come on that liked. So, hey, thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody that either is already watching right now or is going to. I thank you in advance. Yeah, I do remember you saying on like Thursday, at one point on Latin 50's live stream on Thursday that you weren't really feeling so good. But hey, I hope you're feeling okay. I don't know why, but I think it was like I can't remember. It was like Thursday night. Aaron, I don't know what you got. Like Thursday, I know Thursday on that 50 live stream at one point you were saying that you weren't feeling so good. Well, I don't know why, but it must have spread to me somehow because almost immediately following the live stream ending, after the live stream ended, for some reason, and I have this every night. I seem to have this every night. At some point in the night, I start to have, acid reflux and stuff. I don't know why. I wish I had like my own like one of those containers and one of those bottles of like Tums, like they Tums that I can just where I can just pop it open, just take 2 and just put them in my mouth and they taste pretty good. And they don't taste bad or anything. The pink ones taste probably the strawberry or like cherry flavored ones, and I like those the best. Even though I don't mind any of them. Those particular ones, the pink ones, they just taste the best in my opinion. But for some reason I had acid reflux, but I don't know. But then what was different about this is that like I just said, I have it pretty much almost every night. I have it in some way, form, shape, or form. But this time it was different because I went to the bathroom and I threw up. For some reason, I threw up. I don't know why, but I threw up. But after I did that, I don't know how, but after I did that, I started to feel a little bit better as the hours went on. I started to feel better because I was still sort of up. I still felt like just staying up because because I think I was like gonna watch something. I was gonna watch I don't know why, but for some reason, for like the past week, all I've been wanting to do, all I had been wanting to do was watch this one movie called Blind Spotting. Blind Spotting. May not be the type of movie for you, but I've seen it a dozen times. Yeah, I watch AEW. Yeah. You asked me that, I think at least 2 or 3 times. I don't have like TNT or TBS, which is where AEW is on, which is where AEW is on. Drunken driver, I don't know who you are, but I'll put you in timeout and I will hide you on this channel. I don't know who you are, but you're not welcome here. Well, that type of talk is not welcome on my channel. Oh, and also for those of you who maybe want to, if you want to put the links to your chats, the links to your channels in the live chat, feel free to do that. I do not mind. And if you're a mod and you see someone come in that isn't a mod, and you want to maybe put the link to their channel in the live chat, feel free to do so. I am doing this now where I just want to see if I can get some of my friends from on here, I guess, to subscribe to me. Some of the people that subscribe to me and come on my live streams, I want to see if I can get them some more subscribers. Because what did you do? What did you do, Austin? Oh, and Austin, if you want to, you can put the link to your channel up in the live chat. Just saying that now. Any mod on my channel that wants to promote any mod that's on this live stream that wants to promote their channel, feel free to do so. 5 people, 4 likes. Hey. Okay, yeah. But hey, well, you guys know why I'm here. So I'll just get right into it. The wrestling. This week, I don't know. This week has been somewhat underwhelming. I don't know why, but it's been underwhelming. Raw, I'll just say it right now. Raw has been basically what it's been the last couple of weeks. It's been either good, it's either been like okay and decent, or it's just been completely like shit. Sorry to say that, but it's the truth. That's what it's been. I mean, Raw and SmackDown, for some reason. Oh, okay. That's nice. That's nice. I mean, you probably got some money out of that, because I know sometimes people pay money for that. Hey, Cameron. Hey, Cameron. I don't think I've seen you on any of my live streams in a while, because I know you came on one of my live streams, but I can't remember. But I know it's been a while. But hey, thanks for coming. Yeah, like I was saying, Raw this week was like not very good. It was not very good. I mean, the Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler segment was actually pretty darn good. Yeah, I know, Dino Man. The Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler promo. Wow. Hey, Cameron, that's cool. That's cool. Congratulations, man. And like I said, the Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler promo from Raw was actually really good, and actually the best Shayna Baszler promo probably of her main roster career. She's probably done some promos that were just as good, if not better, in NXT. So that's why I'm just saying it's the best promo she's given on the main roster. Because I'm sure she's hit better promos in her career, promos that were perfect in NXT or just anywhere else. But at least on the main roster, that's the best promo she's ever done. She actually ever did. Wow, that's cool. 3 home runs. Yeah. Yeah, I can't. I don't play baseball. I don't know if I could. The only sport that I know for certain that I probably could play is soccer. All you do is kick a ball around. It shouldn't be that hard just to kick a ball around. Soccer would probably be the only sport I'd ever really be able to play. And I don't even know if I'd be good at that. Let alone, like, oh my gosh. Well, 10 minutes, 20, well, 10 minutes, 25 seconds in. Let's see if we can get this up to 10 likes before I end it. And just so everybody knows, I will probably be leaving at like 5. I'll be ending the live stream probably around 5:05, 5:10. So just be on the lookout for that. Once it gets close to 5, cool. Mostly once it gets past 5, then I'll just start to wind down the live stream. But yeah, Raw was not very good. Like I said, Shayna Baszler probably had her best main roster promo ever. And not everything she said was right, was completely true. And there was really no lies spoken from Shayna Baszler. Like, I mean, Shayna Baszler was the one who busted her butt and got into WWE the hard way. Ronda Rousey only came into WWE because Shayna Baszler brought her in, and she immediately was given the spotlight. Whereas, don't know who you are, but you're obviously not. It was good. It was actually pretty good for what it was. For what it was, which was just a way to finally introduce Grayson Waller, the wrestler, to the WWE universe on SmackDown. Because we've seen what he can do in a promo with his talk show, and he's been pretty good. He's been pretty good with his Grayson Waller effect segments, but eventually he was going to have to, and I don't know. I mean, some people are saying that this might very well be just a one-off match between him and Edge. I think they would have a match. They should have a match at SummerSlam. They should have a match at SummerSlam. No. What if this turns into like a real blown out feud that lasts 3 matches? I don't know. Maybe they just have 2 matches and they have a rematch at SummerSlam, and then Grayson Waller just steals his way to a victory. I don't know what's going to happen. Well, they're still damage control. They are still damage control. They have yet to officially break up. I'm sure at some point now there have been rumors going around that this year's women's Money in the Bank, this year's Miss Money in the Bank might actually fail her cash-in. Which, to be completely honest, I'm not actually mad at. I'm not mad at that, because every other woman that has won Money in the Bank, they have cashed in successfully. Just like when the men's Money in the Bank ladder match officially started, like the first, 2005, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, like however many Money in the Bank ladder matches, however many Mr. Money in the Banks we had leading up to the John Cena failing his cash-in, up until then, every Mr. Money in the Bank had officially cashed in and had been successful. So I don't think every time somebody wins Money in the Bank, they have to cash in successfully. I feel like there has to be at least a few, maybe 1 or 2 or a few failed cash-ins. And I think it's about time that the women's Money in the Bank holder doesn't successfully cash in, because I don't see Rhea Ripley losing her title anytime soon. She needs a dominant reign as champion. Maybe not as dominant as like what Becky Lynch and Bianca Belair had, but still pretty dominant. Yeah, and it does look like we are going to get Bianca versus Charlotte versus Asuka at SummerSlam. That seems to be the match that they're going with. I don't know if they're going to put the belt on Charlotte Flair. I really hope not. I really do hope that they just don't do that yet. Because I'm sorry, but I wouldn't take the belt off Asuka just yet. Because if you do, you're literally telling your WWE universe and your fans and the fans that watch a show that Asuka is not main event material. That Asuka is not main event material, and that the only reason why she won at Night of Champions was because Charlotte was not there. If Charlotte Flair had been there, we wouldn't follow. If Charlotte Flair hadn't left WWE following WrestleMania, we may not have ever gotten Asuka winning the belt. Asuka probably wouldn't be champion right now. Charlotte Flair lost the SmackDown Women's title to Rhea Ripley, and then Bianca Belair got drafted to SmackDown, so we would have probably gotten Bianca Belair versus Charlotte Flair at like Night of Champions or whenever. I'm sorry, but I just don't know if Io Sky is going to cash in successfully this year. I just don't think it's happening. And to be honest, I'm not mad at that because I don't think the people who are champions really need to lose their titles yet. I just don't think it's, without making them their title reigns look weak. And to be honest, Rhea Ripley's title reign has already looked weak because they've literally given her nothing but like 2 squash matches against Natalya. One semi-competitive match with like an okay match with Zelina Vega that lasted probably like 7, 8, 9 minutes, like 8, 7, 8 minutes. Then like 2 squash matches with Natalya, and then finally we get a match that's actually competitive, and that was almost like her match with Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, except it obviously wasn't nearly as long, but it was still the most competitive match, her most competitive match so far, with somebody challenging her for the title. So basically, her only competition so far has been Zelina Vega and Natalya. Not the best. I mean, look, I'm not going to lie and say that Natalya is not good anymore. She still is. It's just that her presentation has just been that of like a jobber or just someone who maybe gets the occasional win, but her main goal, and I do believe that she fits this role probably pretty well, and that is her role is to just make the younger talent look good, and to put over the younger talent. Who's to say she's not okay with that? She might be okay with doing that, with putting over the younger talent, as long as that doesn't mean that she's not gonna still try to put on the best darn match she can put on. That just means she's just not gonna win all the time anymore, because she doesn't need to win a title, but she can still get wins every now and then. I just don't think she really needs a title shot every now and then. Anymore. Yeah, I do believe Ellie. Yeah, and I know, and I'm just gonna say this right now. What is Austin Theory's deal? What's the deal with Austin Theory? Because from what we know and from what I've been able to figure out, Vince is still in creative. Vince isn't creative. This is what I've been able to do. Vince isn't creative. I really don't think there's any way you can convince me that Triple H is still running the shows. Yes, his title is still the chief content officer for WWE. Yes, he's still technically head of creative. That's his title. But here's the problem. It's only a title. It's pretty much just a title now. Triple H, yes, he's still technically head of creative. According to WWE. But at this point, it's just a title. He does not have any power, not anymore. Now that Vince is back running the shows, which it's clearly like, because one of the few, because like on one Friday night SmackDown, there was one Friday night SmackDown going into Money in the Bank. We had like 3 matches on the SmackDown card that were like 2 minutes tops. One of the matches was maybe 3 minutes tops. Like, do you really think Triple H would book a SmackDown and have 3 of the matches have only 2 minutes or 3 minutes associated with them? You think Triple H would really book a 2-minute, 3-minute match on SmackDown, Raw, or SmackDown? No, I do not think so. When Triple H was head of creative, matches were longer, and sometimes they actually meant something. Like, yeah, Triple H would never bury Karrion Kross. Look at what Karrion Kross was like in NXT. Look at what Karrion Kross was like in NXT. He was a monster. He was a monster heel, and he was dominating everybody. And that was when Triple H was still in charge of creative down in NXT, and when William Regal was general manager of NXT, still. Before he got fired, I still don't know why Vince fired him. I guess it was because he was a Triple H guy, and Vince McMahon had no use for any Triple H guys. And then he gets drafted, and then he loses the NXT championship to Samoa Joe. And I still have no idea why they thought stripping Samoa Joe of the title simply because he was just too darn old made sense. Because apparently it wasn't in Vince's creative plans for NXT 2.0 to have this aging NXT champion, 40-something-year-old NXT champion. Yeah, right. And guess what, Vince? NXT, you still haven't exactly achieved your goal of making NXT what it used to be, which was supposed to be a developmental brand. They're still trying to make NXT a third brand. And I think bringing main roster stars down to NXT, even if you're giving some of those main roster stars an extended run in NXT for a short period, like Baron Corbin. I think Baron Corbin's gonna do great with if this is supposed to be like not just a few appearances kind of deal, and this is like an extended run in the company, second run in NXT. I'm pretty much done with Raw because Raw wasn't that good to begin with. But now I'm going to go back. Now I'm going to go talk about NXT. NXT was pretty darn good. I think we got a match between Nathan Frazier and I can't remember what it was. Whether it was Nathan Frazier and Dragon Lee, I can't remember. I think it was the second week of NXT Gold Rush. We got Tiffany Stratton versus Thea Hale for the NXT Women's Championship. That was a good match, and it actually ended in controversy because Tiffany Stratton eventually did tap out to the Kimura lock. But the only difference was that the referee didn't see it because Drew Gulak was distracting the referee. We actually got Andre Chase back. I have no idea where he's been. Maybe he's been injured. I don't know. But we got Andre Chase back. It's a good thing Duke Hudson's not that bad in his role, because he's been able to carry him and Thea have been able to carry the whole Chase U thing shtick on their own. And I still don't know why they have Duke Hudson in this role, because to me, Chase U is nothing but comedy. It's nothing but comedy, and that's all it will be to me. I mean, yes, he got injured. Yes, Dino Man, he got injured, but I also know that it was because he was just old, and Vince McMahon had no plans for Samoa Joe as champion because of his age. It was also because of, not only did he get injured, but it was his age too, because even though he may have been, I mean, even if he got injured, still, if he had not gotten injured, if Samoa Joe had not gotten injured when he won the NXT Championship for a third time at NXT TakeOver 36, even if he hadn't gotten injured, I still will bet my money that WWE will have stripped him of the title anyways. And then we would be saying to ourselves, why did they strip him of the title? He wasn't injured. He didn't get injured. And then you can pretty much safely say, is it because of his age? Because he's just old and Vince just doesn't care anymore and just doesn't believe in him anymore? You'd be right. I'm sorry, but Vince McMahon has a very specific vision. And that vision sometimes means that certain superstars over the age of 40 usually won't receive a push because he just feels like if you're over 40, how the hell are you going to perform at a high level? Tyler Bate versus Wes Lee was pretty good. It was very good. No, actually it was Tyler Bate and Ali. Tyler Bate versus Ali was last week, this past Tuesday. And then Ali said that he would like an NXT North American Championship match afterwards. Because I think he won, and then he basically said as he was exiting the ring, that he would like an NXT North American title shot. And I think we're going to get that match. And that match is going to be good because both are super athletic, and we can get... There are a lot of superstars in NXT, like Nathan Frazier, Dragon Lee. Now, I guess Ali's going to have... I guess Ali is also going to be having a second run in NXT. Because I know he was on 205 Live in the Cruiserweight division when that was still a thing. But I don't know if he was actually on NXT. If he is, and if this is actually his first time in NXT, then I like it. Because if he's going to be there for an extended run, like they did, like Mandy Rose had, or like Apollo Crews had, it should be good for him because he's not doing anything on the main roster. And like Baron Corbin, okay, so like I said, I didn't watch NXT this week, but because I'm subscribed to the YouTube channel, they always upload the highlights from their shows like Raw, SmackDown, NXT. And so I saw most of the matches and most of the segments. The one segment that really... How I feel about the Creed brothers having to leave NXT, I don't know what I feel about it just yet. I do feel like if this means the Creed brothers are going up to SmackDown or on Raw, and we're going to get them, because there's also some rumors going around that Braun Breaker, I guess, segment last week with this past Tuesday with Ilya Dragunov could be his last feud in NXT. If that's true, and that means that we're getting Braun Breaker on the main roster following SummerSlam, because I know that not only do debuts happen usually after SummerSlam, after WrestleMania, but sometimes after SummerSlam too, because those are your two biggest shows, basically. WrestleMania and SummerSlam are usually two of WWE's biggest shows. And so it's perfectly, I mean, it makes sense that they would want to debut superstars from NXT or debut superstars that just signed with the company in like right after WrestleMania and right after SummerSlam. But this year's Raw after WrestleMania sucked. It was bad. Probably one of the worst Monday Night Raws ever. One of the worst Monday Night Raws that I've ever seen. What I feel about the Creed brothers is that I hope that this means we're getting them on the main roster following SummerSlam. I do know that they're having rumors that Braun Breaker might be debuting after SummerSlam. And if that's true, then I get why this may be his last feud with Ilya Dragunov. And it's going to be a great feud because Ilya Dragunov has made a career basically in NXT, NXT UK of basically fighting some of the biggest men in the company. Like Gunther, he's had a match. He even had a match with Cesaro at one point on NXT UK, in NXT UK. He's faced Finn Balor, he's faced Gunther twice in matches that were in two matches that were like awesome. And then he most recently faced Dijak in a last man standing match at NXT Battleground. That was great. He had his match with Gunther, with Braun Breaker, and JD McDonough at NXT Halloween Havoc last year was great. He even had I think a Loser Leaves NXT UK match with then superstar Jordan Devlin at the time. He was Jordan Devlin, but now he's JD McDonough. That was great. I mean, he's gonna have a great match with Braun Breaker, and it's gonna be a great feud. And what I hope I hope we do get the Creed brothers on the main roster. Now, this is what I'm interested to know is, does this mean that Ivy Nile? I don't know where JD has been. He's been on Raw like maybe 2 or 3 times. We saw in that battle royale that we got where the winner was going to receive a match against Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship at Night of Champions. We got at one point when I guess after Dolph Ziggler and JD McDonough had been eliminated, we saw JD just beat the crap out of Dolph Ziggler, and that's what we need. It's just a guy that just is no nonsense, doesn't care about feelings, doesn't care about people, just wants to beat the living shit out of people. But I don't know where he's been. Yeah, and he's had like 2 backstage segments with Finn Balor. And then one backstage segment where he was being like interviewed, I think with like Kathy Kelly, and JD was like, and Finn Balor was watching from afar. And a lot of people, and this has been rumored for a while now, that we're potentially going to get JD McDonough in the JD McDonough in the Judgment Day. How that happens, I don't know. They have been teasing a split between Damian Priest and the Judgment Day for a while now, because we've been seeing the tension between Finn Balor and Damian Priest. I don't know if I would break Damian Priest away from the Judgment Day. Yes, this is the best Damian Priest we've gotten. And yes, his match with Bad Bunny was highly praised by everybody, by just about everybody in the IWC and within WWE, because it was just that good. And then but I just don't know if he's ready to be on his own. The last time he was on his own, on the main roster, was when he first came up to the main roster. It was in the 2021 Royal Rumble, made his debut pretty much in the 2021 Royal Rumble, had a few eliminations, including Kane. I've seen that Royal Rumble match. He eliminated Kane, of all people. He eliminated Miz and John Morrison, who was still with the company at the time. I think at least 4 eliminations. Got eliminated, but it was a pretty good, decent debut, especially in a Royal Rumble match where that's where you can see a lot of debuts from superstars. Even if those superstars aren't actually, even if it's not their debut to the main roster, they're just debuting in the match. Because this year's women's Royal Rumble match got a few NXT girls in there. basically their debut, but they went right back down to NXT. But since then, we've gotten two of them now up to the main roster. Indy Hartwell's not doing anything. Indy Hartwell's not doing anything. I wonder what she's doing. She's probably in catering with Candice. Doing what? I don't know. Also, one of the best things that happened apparently this week on NXT, I thought was so brilliant, was a video package of Baron Corbin. Yeah, I know. I think she was in that like tag team turmoil match. I think it was a tag team turmoil match where the winner got a shot at the women's tag team titles. That did literally nothing. It did nothing. She and Candice got beat. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was last week. I think it was this week, but I'm not sure. But it meant literally nothing. Then we got, so what I was about to say, this week on NXT, we got a video package, and I didn't know what to think at first when I clicked on it on their YouTube channel. But then when I saw it, I was like, oh, this is brilliant. This is so brilliant. This is so like ironic that he's doing this. It was Baron Corbin. He was, I guess, walking up to like a fire pit. To like a fire, and it was like, I don't know what they do. Like it's like it's like an indoor like fire pit, and he was literally throwing stuff in it. And some of the things he was throwing in it was like his crown from when he won King of the Ring. From when he won King of the Ring, he had his Happy Corbin hat, and one of his colorful button-up shirts that he wore, that he wore during his Happy Corbin gimmick. And then I think he even had the white button-up shirt that was the Bum Corbin shirt, the one that was stained, that had the stain on it. And it was like, I still don't know why they felt the need that he just had to wear that shirt exactly like that. Why couldn't he have just... that comic book guy. Danny, thank you for coming. I was just talking about NXT, and there was a video package on there that they played for Baron Corbin. I thought it was just genius, because it was basically Baron Corbin walking up to a fire pit, and he was throwing stuff in it, and it was basically a whole bunch of stuff pertaining to his past gimmicks. He's King of the Ring, his crown that he wore during his King of the Ring days. He had like a hat that was, I think, a hat that he wore when he was Happy Corbin. He also had a shirt, a colorful shirt that was also probably one that he wore during his Happy Corbin gimmick. Yeah, oh, okay, I'll add you as a manager mod. Okay. Yeah, but it was great. And then I think he even had the Bum Corbin shirt, the white shirt that had that stain and was just so wrinkled. I thought it was just genius, because it was basically him saying, this is me, and this is what I used to be, and I'm just going to throw all of this stuff away because that's not who I was. He's literally shitting on his past gimmicks. And I thought that was perfect, because now he's back to being who he was before. Before he was Constable Corbin, King of the Ring, Bum, Happy, he was the Lone Wolf. And that's basically what he's now. He's got his Lone Wolf character back. And I think it's the best thing that could have ever happened to Corbin. I think that was probably, if not the best gimmick he ever had. I mean, yes, his Bum Corbin gimmick was probably the most fun gimmick he ever had, and he did make it work, but it just was useless and just went nowhere, really. But man, I just thought that was so cool the way that he was doing it, the way he did that. Because it basically was symbolic. He was basically throwing all of his past gimmicks into the fire. Into the fire. NXT was not bad this week. AEW this week AEW was pretty good. Now, this week was the start of the Blind Eliminator Tag Team Tournament. Whatever it is, some say that they basically just used an old WCW gimmick. I don't know what that is because I've seen WCW before, but I don't know all of it. Like, I mean, Danny, you might know what I'm talking about. You might know what it is because you probably may have watched WCW before, but I don't know what it is. Basically, it's a blind eliminator tag team tournament where random competitors are paired together and they compete for a shot at the AEW tag team championships. Dino Man, I literally just said he is back to being the lone wolf. That's his gimmick now. He's gone back to that, which I don't know if that's a Vince McMahon idea. Maybe Triple H had a say in that. I don't know, but it is what it is. But I like it. No, I don't think he burned his own wolf stuff. You saw when he had his match with Carmelo Hayes, he had his lone wolf music, his graphic. He had basically everything. That was the lone wolf gimmick back. You really think that after just 1 week of having his lone wolf character back, he'd just get rid of it? No, I don't think no, he is the lone wolf again. That's the only gimmick he should ever have because it was his best gimmick. And it's the only gimmick that ever really worked for him. None of his other gimmicks worked. And I don't think if they're giving him a new gimmick, it's gonna work any more than his previous ones. King of the Ring was nice while it lasted, but it didn't do anything for him. He didn't get a championship match out of it or anything. He wasn't featured in a big storyline as King of the Ring, King of WWE. Baron Corbin didn't do much of anything else. Happy Corbin didn't do much of anything either. Yeah. But yeah. Yeah, we got MJF and Adam Cole as a tag team. That is literally genius. That is literally like, I mean, yes, it can be serious at times, but then, like we saw, it can also be comical because they had a birthday celebration. I guess it was for Adam Cole because it was, I guess, his birthday this week. And they had a birthday segment for Adam Cole with MJF, and MJF got pied in the face with a cake. He basically got caked in the face with cake. And it was funny. It was funny. Some of the matches haven't been good, haven't been that bad though. Those tag team matches that they've had so far with the random pairings were Darby Allin and Orange Cassidy. They've been in some tag team matches recently, so it's not like they're just like a super random pairing. The only problem I had was with Swerve and Keith Lee being forced to tag team, even though we technically still never really got a definitive end to their feud, if you could even call it that, because we didn't get anything other than Swerve or whoever, or Parker or Trent or whoever it was that did it, stomping Keith Lee through a cinder block, which I thought was pretty darn cool when it happened. But nothing really came of that either, really. Yeah, I don't have cable. I don't have cable. I've said this before. I don't have cable, so I can't watch TNT, TBS. I don't which also means I can't watch USA Network, which houses NXT and Friday and Monday Night Raw. So I mainly just watch the highlight videos that they upload to their YouTube channel. And you can do that too if you want to, Dino Man. Just go to their YouTube channel and watch the highlights from all the matches and segments that they do. Because what they do is basically the exact same thing that WWE does after all their shows. After all their shows, they will just upload the highlights from their matches and segments from each of their 3 shows and the PLEs. So that's what AEW does on their YouTube channel. But AEW wasn't that bad. Like if I had to rate all of the shows this week on a scale of 1 to 10, Raw was like a 4 out of 10, maybe a 5, because it's not like it was completely terrible and just so bad, but it was not good either. So NXT, a 7, maybe 7.5 out of 10. Wasn't perfect. Some of the matches may not have been as good as others. Some of the segments may not have been as good as others, but it was still pretty decent. So it was like a 7 out of 10. AEW, I would have given it at least a 7, 7.5 out of 10. Again, wasn't the best AEW that they've been able to pull off this year, but it still was better than what WWE Monday Night Raw did. You don't like the name Premium Live Event? You don't like it when they say that? Yeah. Honestly, I've been so used to that pay-per-view, PPV, that's all I really want to say now is pay-per-view, basically. And if I had to rate SmackDown last night, I would have rated it at least a 6 out of 10, because at least it was decent. We got the Bloodline segment was the best. The Bloodline was the best thing about Monday Night Raw, about SmackDown. But like some people have now officially gone on record with saying, the opening segment, which was the trial court, may have ran a little too long. And I agree it was good for what it was, but it did run a little bit long for what I would have wanted. But I'm not going to say that it wasn't bad, because it wasn't. It was good. What they did was they showed the video package they showed was basically Roman, and every time he's been abusive to the Bloodline. And yet he says that, no, that's not me. That's not who I am. I was forced to be that way. So what you're saying, Roman, is that your cousins, quote unquote, forced you to be that way. So you're saying it's your cousin's fault that you lose your temper. I mean, you're basically saying that it's your cousin's fault that you have an anger issue. Yeah, but it's your anger issue, not theirs. So it's not your fault. It's not their fault that you can't control your anger. It's your fault and your fault only. I'm sorry, but that's just the way I see it. And then at the end of the show, the main event, which basically the main event match was, surprisingly, it was Edge versus Grayson Waller, which was a 15-minute match that did pretty well. It was a pretty good match, and we got to see Edge in the ring again at Madison Square Garden. And then after that, we got a segment in which Jey Uso declares that he wants to face Roman Reigns at SummerSlam for the Undisputed Championship, which I think is going to happen. Aw. Well, thanks, Dino Man, for coming anyways. But, yeah, I'm just going to... I mean, the Bloodline was The Bloodline had the most time on the entire show last night. We got Karrion Kross versus AJ Styles in a match that lasted literally only 3 minutes. And it looked like he was injured. Like they said that his knee or his leg was taped, and they speculated it might be an injury. I don't know if he's legit injured or not, but that may be why the match was only like 3 minutes, because they didn't want him to aggravate the injury any more than he already had. But still, that's criminal. That's literally criminal. To have someone like Karrion Kross and to put him in a match that lasts only 3 minutes, at least give them like a 6 minute match. Even that, I would have accepted better. I would have accepted that over a 3 minute match or 2 minute match that does literally nothing. What have they done with Karrion Kross since he came back? I can tell you one thing, not a damn thing. He teased a feud with Roman Reigns by having his wife put that hourglass in the ring with Roman Reigns and the Usos and the rest of the line in the ring with them, and then he just immediately started into a feud with Drew McIntyre. It was not a bad feud, but it just fell flat at the end. At the end, it just fell flat because it didn't do either one of them any good. And what has he really done since then? I feel like that was the best he was being presented since coming back. And then ever since then, it's just been a few good promo segments, backstage promo segments, a few good backstage promos, which is basically his best feature, the best part of him is actually his mouth. He can talk very well. He's one of the best talkers in WWE. Next to probably Grayson Waller, Roman Reigns, and a few others that are very, very good on the mic. And yet that's maybe the best, maybe what they are. That maybe the only thing they see in him is just a mouthpiece. It's just a guy that can talk very good, but they just don't know if he's worthy of an actual push. And I feel like if Triple H was fully in control of creative, this is not the Karrion Kross we'd be getting. We'd be getting NXT Karrion Kross, the OG Karrion Kross that was a monster heel and literally stomped on everybody that went through him. I mean, I saw his match at NXT TakeOver in Your House 2021. He was in a fatal 5-way match. He faced at least 3 of the 4 competitors were former NXT champions. Pete Dunne, I'm pretty sure, was in the match too. He was a former NXT UK champion. So basically, all the competitors in that match were either in Karrion Kross's case, the current NXT champion, or a former NXT/NXT UK champion. And he beat 4 of literally the best guys that NXT had to offer at that time. And then he started into a feud with Samoa Joe, loses the title to him. I mean, he actually debuted on the main roster before he dropped the title. And he lost his debut match, technically now his debut match, still what I know to be his debut match against Jeff Hardy. And then when he officially does drop the title, goes up to the main roster. Yes, he gets a lot of dominant wins against. Yes, he has a bunch of squash matches against certain superstars. I mean, he had a couple of squash matches against Jeff Hardy. He had a squash match or 2 with 2 matches, I think, with Keith Lee that he won both times. I think he beat Ricochet at least once or twice. Jackson Riker, I think, once or twice. And his first main roster one was so terrible that when they brought him back, they made it seem like this was his actual debut. Which I understand Triple H wanting to make it seem like his first run in the company, his first main roster run never happened because it was so terrible. But I'm sorry, but Karrion Kross was a great superstar in NXT. That's the Karrion Kross we need on the main roster. I'm just saying that's the Karrion Kross we need. I don't think there's any other version of Karrion Kross out there that was as good as is NXT Karrion Kross. Maybe outside of WWE there was a version of Karrion Kross that was just as good, if not better. But he was a monster in NXT, and that's what we need. We need that Karrion Kross back. And I think as long as Vince McMahon is running the show, we are never ever going to get that version of Karrion Kross back. That's just what I think. Now you can, hate me or what for my opinions and say that I say that I'm just being a little bit negative, a bit too negative, but I'm sorry, but that's just the way I feel about him. Because I like him. He's one of my favorites right now. But when you're booking someone who should be at least upper mid card potential main eventer, and you're booking him like he's literally nothing but garbage, what do you expect someone like me to do? Just sit here and just accept it that he's being booked that way and not say anything about it and not complain and not say that something needs to happen? No, I'm not just going to keep silent about this. I'm going to be vocal. I'm going to say what I think. And if some of the people out there that have a problem with people like me who want to be honest about wrestling, then I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say to you guys, to those people. But yeah, SmackDown, it wasn't like bad. It wasn't like what I know it could be, but it was definitely a little bit better than what Raw was. Obviously, I think NXT, from what I've been able to see, NXT seems to have been the best show WWE has to offer right now. Because as NXT, at least they seem to be booking their stars pretty good down there in NXT. And the shows and the matches, from what I've seen, have all been pretty darn good. And it's easy for some of the matches to be good when you've basically got two people in the match that are basically great, and you know that they can put on a great match, and you know they can put on a great match. Like Dragon Lee versus Nathan Frazier for the North American Heritage Cup. That was a good match, a great match. Ali versus Tyler Bate. That's a great match. Ali now versus potentially Wesley. That's going to be a great match. We know that. I know that because I've seen Ali wrestle. I know he's that good, and I know Wesley's that good because I've now seen him a couple times, and he's good. So I know that those two are going to have a great match, no matter what no matter how bad the storyline may be. Well, guys, it's past time. It's almost time for me to go. It's almost an hour. It's almost been an hour, so I'm gonna probably have to. So I'm probably just gonna end this now. I want to thank everybody for coming. You guys are amazing, and to the 5 people who liked, thank you. I really do appreciate it. I really do. So I'm just gonna probably just end it now, right before it gets to an hour. I know probably some people might say, wait till it gets to at least an hour and then end it. And also my phone's starting to lose battery life. It's at 74% and I want to charge it up just a little bit before I officially go. But I want to thank everybody who did join. Hopefully I will go live next week for a workout live stream. I was going to go for one this week. I just didn't. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I just had so many things that I was doing this week and I just didn't have the time to do it, or whether it was just sometimes I get in my head, yes, I want to do something this week, like a workout live stream. I want to do a workout live stream this week, but then when it gets time for me to actually do it, I just don't do it. Or just because at the time I just don't feel like it, or whether I just get too busy doing one thing that I just completely forget, and or maybe and I've had this happen to me, but then other times I'll be like, okay, I know I want to do this, but for some reason I just don't feel like doing this because I'm doing something else. And for some reason I just can't seem to want to stop doing what I'm already currently doing just to do something else. But it's okay, it's okay. I will go live next week for a workout live stream. I will do it. Oh, also I did a Goodwill finds video for this week, for this month. I will be posting it both to this channel and to my second channel. So if you want to go watch it, I found some pretty decent movies this week. Also, I found myself a new mirror for my room because I had one mirror because the mirror I actually had was just too short for me, and I needed one that was longer to where I could actually see my whole body in the morning when I'm like getting dressed and stuff. I just want to be able to see myself in the mirror and see what I look like, see if I need to like fix anything like my hair or my face. But yeah, I will be posting that video to this channel and my other channel, my secondary channel on this video, on this site, on this phone. And so I will see you guys later. And I guess until next time, peace. See you guys later. Bye. Okay, I did go past 1 hour. That's good. Yeah, see you guys later.